or Saturday and Sunday. We're on the road going to North Carolina. I have a book signing to do up there, and hopefully we'll be able to get online. I think the next time I'm going to try is Monday. If I miss Monday, it's Wednesday. I'm trying to keep Wednesday because it's pretty consistent for me. And so this week I would have done 3 days. So I'm trying to go 3 days a week, and so I think it's important. You remain consistent. I enjoy this doing this, and so even if I can, I'm planning a cruise or something. My wife's working for me, and so hopefully if that works out, then if we could do it, on the cruise line or when we port, then I'll be able to come on and maybe earlier, but I'm trying to keep it going and then sharing, life events and, just talking about everyday things and going forth. And I was, look, I believe yesterday we did well because, once you get me talking and going in depth, I don't even look back. I just go because I want to answer questions. I want to be able to speak to people where they're at, what they're looking for, how to give them viable information that's going to help their lives. And I think that's totally important. And not just I'm not just here just to make haste. I mean, I think we're making progress and trying to line up new guests coming in and talk about new ideals and even money, and so I have some friends out there, and I'm, want to bring one of my friends in, and maybe next month because we're talking, and look at next month, and if you know people that want to talk about finances and any angle that you want to speak of, person coming in and able to share that with us and stuff. And so I think she's a pretty awesome financial advisor. I'm a financial advisor as well, but she's my vice president. So I want to bring it from the top down, and just be able to help people out because back in the day, not that we're talking about it today, but I'm just giving some insights. Back in the day, I filed bankruptcy and that was difficult for me, but it's something that I had to endure and overcome. And now moving forward, I'm able to take my life and move in a different direction, and it's been pretty awesome. And I'm pleased about that. And so I'm able. I want to share that with other people because people have struggles and difficulties, and sometimes we make bad choices. And but if we can find the tools and resources to say, you know what, if I wish I had known about this, that, or other, I'm trying to bring that knowledge to you so you can ask the question. And the thing is, if you miss it this time, then hopefully we're, get her back on. And probably a couple times a year we have her back on. But we're talking. So just look forward to that, coming, in the near future. So I'm piquing your interest. See, like, wow, because I'm Renaissance. I'm like a Renaissance person, and I'm just not, premeditated into one area of life. I'm a well-rounded individual, and my experience covers a wide variety of experiences, and so I want to bring it and share it with you, and help you. Hopefully that you're like, what, I'm so glad I tuned into the Mike Gilcreast show, and I am just glad myself that I able to tune in, and I'm telling you, and for me, days are like boom, boom, boom. I'm going. I just got out of a meeting. That's why we started late. I was in a meeting. I mean, I got things working in all different angles, and somebody has to do it, and might as well be me. So that's why I'm here, and I'm like, okay, I couldn't get out, and they just left, so I'm able to, go forward, and I'm here to talk about it. I'm like, and you would think, they would leave if you say I'm about to go do my podcast, but yeah, not always the case, So I sometimes crack myself up, and so I, laugh at my own, you know, comments and stuff like that because I think I'm funny, at times I truly do. I think I'm funny, and I like to endure it, and so and bring my comments, and sometimes they're comical, and sometimes I'm intentional funny, and because you want to add a little humor to life, and serious stuff because if you don't, I think all of us walk around crazy. We're like, I don't know what I'm doing myself. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know about this, that, and the other. And you see my shirt here. I got my Jamaica shirt on, if you could see it. So, I represent. I enjoy the islands seriously, and even abroad. I like to wear stuff, kind of relax me and stuff. But I seem like I probably have more Jamaican shirts than I have Aruba. I have just different places, Mexico. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything from Europe and Israel, but been there, So, and I don't even know if I have. Oh, I have a hat I wear sometimes from Africa. So, South Africa. You have to say South Africa, not just Africa. When you're from America or South America, you just say Africa. But you tell people, where were you at in Africa? And they're like, Johannesburg. Oh, that's South Africa. Well, isn't that all of Africa? And being that Africa has many different countries that make up the continent, so, it is what it is. So I got it. And, let's take it, run with it, and don't look back. So, but we kind of can, if questions come about, talk about some of the things that we've been discussing, like relationship stuff, like what to wear, not to wear, and just whatever comes up. Because I digress. Because I'm kind of relaxed on this show, and I try to find time to answer questions for everyone, and I'm on a little bit earlier than normal, but it is what it is, and so we just take it in stride and go from there. Then after this, I'll probably go eat some dinner and call it a night. And I'm not sure I don't think the Lakers play tonight, but doesn't matter. I think they're going to win anyway. So the only surprise to me is probably Detroit. So we'll see what happens there, but we'll see. All right. So let's get started. We're looking at relationships as a whole. We're looking at life as a whole, and my other it got lighter in here because my other monitors are lit up from my other side, and so, but we'll focus on this because they eventually go dark, and be a little darker in here, but I am having fun, and so look for me. We will be on where will be North Carolina next week, and so doing a book signs. Like I said, if you're in there, say hello, stop by and this kind of thing, and we could go from there. And so, but hey, Linda, what's up? And we say hi back at you, and so we just appreciate being here. And like for sure, I'm trying to get online. I'm not going to have all my equipment, so we have to see if everything's going to, fall into place, for me. It should. We should do pretty good because like I said, I pride myself on being consistent and to answer questions. But we look at relationship. We look at women and yesterday I wanted to get more involved on just how things are built, and then the layers of different things, or how it should. Because anytime we're in a relationship, there's always, regardless of who you are, where you're from, there's always expectation. And so in saying that, and I wholeheartedly have an expectation. I never try to do stuff and not have an expectation, for real. I want the best of the best, and I want to be the best of the best. And so that's important to me. I want nothing less than the best. But it's a standard. When you go into a relationship, and regardless of who, male, female, doesn't matter. You should go in there with a standard. The junk I see on social media and the conversation I have with people, people, I take a deep breath. That means I'm, disgusted about what I'm about to say. so when I do that, you be like, oh, what he's disgusted about now, But, it behooves me on how we don't take relationships serious. And why do we want less? Why do we want less? When there's a hierarchy, that exists no matter what you do. There's a hierarchy to survival. And I think we need to get in relationships so we can make the best of it. Because I'm surviving, through life, but not through relationship. Some people are surviving through life, relationship, and not so much life. You know what I mean? And then that can make the rest of your life hard. That can make it unbearable. Can make it difficulty because we looking at things the wrong way. We have an expectation, and then we want to add this much to relationship, and it's not fair. It's not fair, no matter how you look at it. And we're not going to. And I'm saying I'm married now 30 plus years, but going into this, I had an expectation. I was expecting the person I was to marry to be A, B, C, D, F, G. I had a not only expectation, but I had a standard. And so, but I think we should do it. And my standard wasn't immeasurable, even though some people have unrealistic expectations. That wasn't my case. I've been there. I knew what I wanted, to do. But we go into this relationship and we like, I'll do this, that, and other. Like it's a business arrangement. And by God, to be technical, relationships is a business arrangement. But at a personable level. It's not like you wash the dishes, I take out the trash. That's the contract. And or we come together this many times per month or week and whatever. We go into these relationships and we don't understand. And that's what I'm saying. The women in the hierarchy that they meet, and I always say they have this intrinsic value, but they have no ideal of their value or their worth. Women do not know their value, seriously. And it's not chauvinistic. Women do not. If women knew their value, we would not be in the shape that we are in today. We would not be in the situation we are. You guys shape the world, shape society. You guys, if you go to school, who's mostly just teaching classes? Women. If you look at most families, then they're single parent family. It's a lot of them. There's millions of them, and it's women. You got leaders now, and just think we almost had Kamala Harris as a president. So you have women, and so there's some outstanding. I'm a fan of Jasmine Crockett. And normally I don't support a lot the politics. I don't support women in leadership and this, that, and other when they could be out of place. But the thing is, I think anybody could do pretty much anything. I was solely backwards, but I'm like, I haven't seen a woman that can do this, that, and other. And then I start, look at them. Who's the lady who sat on the bus? I liked her, Rosa Parks. And then I start seeing other women who stepping up, and the governor that used to be of Alaska, and it's just a variety of women that kind of shocked my mindset, because I'm like, wow. I didn't think women can be in the politics. And then, my wife and I, she does sports. And so she starts shaping my mind to say, you know what, women can do sports and this and another. I think women should be in women's sports, men should be in men's sports. End of story on that. That's just what I believe. But I think women are great at what they can do. A lot of guys don't look at women to be great leaders. But I'm telling you, for me, it's just a few that can fit that bracket. And the one is at the top of my bracket, just me speaking, is Jasmine Crockett. I mean, I'm so impressed with her. And, until she or whomever that I support let me down, I'm there. And so she's the first one since the 80s that really sparked my attention. Now, I'm not even going to talk about Jasmine Crockett. I'm just impressed with her. All right, so enough of that. I'm not hating women. I love women, but I think women don't actualize their power, their value, and so much, and they take so much less when they can have so much more. How do I know that? Because I keep saying, I lived the life. And so let's answer a couple questions and stuff. But we got to get back to that hierarchy. where man, woman, because I think that's how God planned it. But everybody should know their role. And I'm not getting to the lesbians and this, that, and that. Just a straight woman, all right, period. And so if people choose to do alternative lifestyles, to God be the glory, and do it. I'm talking just straight people, just people that's doing normal things, all right? Because we get into all these other things and the conversation go left, and I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. All right, all right. All right. So what this says was, what do you think the biggest challenges couples face today? Oh, oh, see, these are hard questions, and because they're wide open. Remember, I said some of these answers depends on where you at. Some people get married and they're not in love. Some people get married and they just want to have the baby. And some people get married and they after the money. Some people get married and they're gold diggers. So it's different things. But when you want to do it right, right? I think the biggest challenge that people face today, number one for me, is they don't even know they don't know each other. That's the number one thing for me. And then God is missing out of that. And so we have these questions, and we know when a woman meets a guy, or a guy meets a girl, or somebody's proposing to someone, a guy's proposed to some lady, it's never like what you see on a talk show, or a podcast or my show, and you got all this you got all this information that you can run with, and instead of running with it, you as soon as you meet the person, you let all your guards down. Okay, go whatever you say. Oh, that sounds cute. Whatever you want to do. What do you want to do? Whatever you tell them. I don't want to go to the store. I don't want to go to the park. I just want to sit here and talk to you. End the story. Speak up. But we don't know each other. I think that's the biggest challenge. And then we lack God. If you lack God, you lack direction on which way you want to go, because you don't have a standard. Where you gonna base your life on? Well, I grew up and I got through high school, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next. We have to have a spirituality. If you're taking care of the physical man, and then the mindset of the physical man, there must be a spirituality to go with that, and that's missing out of our relationship. I think a guy should be telling a woman, this is the path we're going on. And it's up for that woman to accept. It's like Mission Impossible. It says, if you choose to accept, because they could reject a assignment, and saying this tape would destruct in 5 seconds. And in the story, right? But that's life. You look at things, and we jump in this, and we don't even know the person we jumping in bed with, or we hanging around. We don't know them, because people could be a criminal on the run, and you're like, I'm so in love. He is so nice to me. You gotta almost do a background check on people, for real. And people lie. Everybody lie, and so people not given the truest representation of themselves. So not only you're lacking God, you didn't sit down and get to know each other, but we don't represent ourselves in the true fashion that we should. So people can trust you at face value. It's not happening. So that's a big challenge couples face. All right. And so this one is next. It says, what is the craziest thing you ever done for love? Lord Jesus. Man, I don't even know if I want to call you in here. But the craziest thing, I have game. It's not to show off, not to be big-headed. And I have game. Every woman for me, when I was out there single, I did something different. And that person would be attracted to me in the story. And so that's how confident I am. But let's talk about male, all right? Because I have all these stories, because I have a book. And so I don't like to leave my book out as well. And so but the craziest thing I did for my wife, and I talk about this, I said, what's the craziest thing I ever did, for love? And people would do some stupid, absent-minded stuff for love. But if you lose yourself in the process, that's not for love. That's just stupidity, all right? And so I think that one thing I did that was crazy for my wife today, and I'm just going to answer for my wife. And so because I've done a lot of crazy stuff. I'm telling you, a lot. So that's for me. That's a hard question, but I can pull out one instance because I have a lot. But one thing I did for my wife when we were dating, and then we got married later on. And so this is for love. I recreated my first date with her, and that was important to me. And so that's the craziest thing I ever done. I recreated. I've done others, but I can't tell you. Oh, oh boy, yeah. Yeah, I need a little help on that one. But yeah, that's a good one. All right, and what's this next one? All right, should we still have an expectation in marriage? You know what? We teach people, and if you know us, I'm sure when you come to church, we always taught this, and I got this from my wife, seriously, because she came up with it. But I grabbed it. I'm like, makes sense. Let's run with it. Anytime you go to church, you should always have expectation. You go to work, you should have expectation. If I'm married to my wife, I today, and in July be 31 years, but today, going into my 31st year, I have an expectation of my wife. Seriously. And she's right here, in the background. But she can answer that same too. She just got her hair done today and stuff. Like, oh wow, she's gorgeous. Like, wow. Anyway, but she has an expectation. And for one, if she got her hair done, she want me to like it. I'm telling you. And I didn't know what style she was gonna come up with, whatever. But I'm like, since she got in the car, I'm like, wow, and because I seen her earlier anyway. I ain't gonna go there. I just y'all making me silly now, right? And but her hair, oh my God, it's awesome. And hopefully she'll come over here and let y'all see it, I know Linda wants to see it, and but I think we should always have expectation. I think it's fair on both sides. And to be serious and answer the question, yeah, it never goes away. You send your child to school, you have an expectation for that, your child to be successful in school. If you call yourself in a successful marriage, you should have an expectation. My husband's going to be honest, faithful, committed, God fearing, ABCFGs, take care of the house, take care of the bills. And the husband have an expectation that my wife's going to be peaceful, loving, kind, joy, take care of the house, take care of the kids, do her responsibility. And so it all comes together. That's what makes you a relationship. Relationships mean you have relations. So you're doing things that you have hopefully in common. And then you're building upon that. And I get when I got into marriage, and my wife, I was terrible with money. Like absolutely terrible. And she was great with money and had all this money and yada yada yada. But she had expectation for me to make money or me to do better with this money or when things was hard for us in the beginning of our relationship. I mean, she trusted me and we prayed and trust God and God helped us to overcome a lot of obstacles. But she always have expectations of me. I'm telling you, and I think even in having an expectation, I have disappointed her. I know you don't even have to ask her. You can ask me. I have disappointed her. But the thing is, I got my footing back. I made good of it and turned it around. But never stop having expectations. And expectations, since we're talking about, they should be coordinated throughout their marriage. And whether you sit down once a month, once a quarter, whatever, but look at it and say, look, where are we going in this marriage? Where are we going in this relationship before marriage, right? So where are we going? And that way you have a feeler as the direction that you're going, and you're able to make a cognitive decision, say, you know what, I'm with you, let's go do it. But if it goes against your plan, that's when you have a hiccup. Don't wait 5, 10, 15, 20 years and then say, oh, I have the expectation. You didn't meet it 5 years ago. That's not fair. You need to address it at that 5th year point or that 6th year point or that 3rd year point, whatever it is, you have to address it. Don't wait till it build up, and then you have hostility, and then you have walls that's built up, and you're not going to make any progress. You're not making any traction. You're going to fall apart. It's not going to work. I'll tell you, if I disagree with something, my wife, we're going to sit down and talk about that now. We're not going to bed. We're going to figure this out because it's important. But if she, have something that she has to work out, and she holds things in, my wife, and so I have to pull it out of her because, like, we got to talk about it because if you're not happy, I'm not. It's not working out for me, and so we're able to do that and go forth, right? And so always keep the expectations. Hopefully, I answer your question. That's important. That's an important question. I like the question. All right, and so I think it's pretty fantastic. And next one says, "Do you believe in soulmates?" I do. Remember, I'm the hopeless romantic. Even though I don't seem like it. If I was single today, I have to have. I don't know how not to be romantic. And so I do crazy. I'm crazy, and not crazy stupid, but crazy where it'll shock your mind because that's just what I do. That's what I bring to the table. Is who I am, and it's important for me to share who I am, and I believe in soulmates. I'm telling you, because it's things. If I was doing a marriage retreat, my conversation would be totally different because I'll be really, really, really intimate into what I'm talking about so people can feel it. And the thing is, being that we on air, I want to keep it here. But a marriage retreat, I would discuss it differently. I would answer this question totally different with soulmates. All right, but believe in soulmates. The simple question, yes, I think it exists. I think there's somebody that's meant for somebody, that's meant for that one special person. And can you meet again? I think you can, but I think it comes. It's a long way to that point, and so I'm on my second marriage, and my biggest regret in life, because my wife, I believe she is my soulmate, and I wish I would have only met her, seriously, and not experienced the experiences that I had, because she did something for me. I'm used to shocking people's mind. She shocked my mind. I was not used to her, but to be around her or not, even for her is we miss each other, and so we could be in the same house and we miss each other, and it is what it is, and that's how it should be, and BB and CC Winans, they sing a song. It says, "I'm lost without you." And songs really minister to me, and I share that with you because those are songs that you could actually feel love. And so they sing the song BBCC Winans, "I'm lost without you." Check it out, and and you can feel it too. Because I'm like, sometimes you don't have the words to express to your spouse or the person that you're going to marry, and then you're able to, you know supplement that with like songs, and you could feel it, and it could help you, express words and stuff that come out of your mind. But you know what? Like I said, yeah, I was on yesterday, right? And I'll talk about that movie Top Gun and that song. You lost that love and feeling, and it's gone, 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 gone. You know, um, I don't want that. I don't want to experience that. I love the movie. I thought the movie was fantastic. But I don't want to lose that love and feeling. Because when you get it, truth be told, and you're missing it, it's hard to replace it. It's hard to substitute it, for something else. You can eat chocolate cake and it tastes like salt. I'm just giving the imagination of your mind. When you want it, it's like nobody can fit that bill. Women go out and have when a woman get cheated on, right? And this is what sisters say. You can look it up. When a woman gets cheated on, her and her husband, she had divorced her husband because it's been proven that 80% of all women initiate divorce. 80% of all women initiate breaking up, and so y'all can look that up as well. And so she would go out and cheat with married men. Now, ain't that ironic or stupid? And so isn't that weird? Why would you double? But the, even in God's eyes, right? Somebody got to pay that price, because you might call yourself getting even with someone, but adultery is adultery, and in God's eyes, regardless of what you believe, you got to pay for that. And so that's it. I'm just putting that out like that, right? And so yes, I believe in soulmates, and so see how much God came from that. Wow, it's a couple set aside one night out of a week for a date night. Well, it depends. If you're mad, right, and you're upset with them, probably won't work. If you're mad all the time, and I'm giving you different scenarios because I've been there. There's times I wanted to go out and I wouldn't go out because I was upset, and so I'm not going out. I don't want to be. I need peace and quiet to get my mind back and go forward. That's what I'm saying. It depends. But if you things are going good and some people have kids involved and this and that, and it's kind of hard to do, and then some people, if you don't have the money, it's kind of hard to do, but not everything costs money. Find places where you go to the park and this, that, and the whole hands or whatever, if you're getting along, because a lot of couples are together, and I'm not naive to it, so I'm speaking of it. They hate each other. People are together and they hate each other. And normally I wouldn't talk like that, but I'm about truth. I'm telling the truth. And next week I'm doing a book signing. I guarantee you I'll have new information to share with you of people that's going to share with us, or experiences going to happen. I'll bring it back to the podcast, and you're going to know, like, wow, every book sign is something different. I mean, something different, but it supplies me with all this ammunition that I'm able to talk about it and help people in their relationship. Because if you're going through it, somebody else is going through it. If you've done it, somebody else has done it. Relationships, and they're simplistic. We make it hard, like I'm the best. No, I'm good at what I'm doing, but somebody's better than me, and I'm good at what I do, and somebody's worse than me, but I know I can carry my own, but I'm not special. I'm special to the person that loves me, attracted to me in the story, but I don't think of myself, like, I could take anybody's woman. I knew a guy, so I say no other guy. He only liked to date or have affairs with married women. Wow, that's a wild one, right? And seriously, so it shows that a lot of women, even if they're married, they cheat. And we always blaming the guy. The guy cheat, the guy cheat, the guy cheat. Women cheat too. And so they initiated. But what you get out of that? You had sex with somebody. What's the end point? You could do bad by yourself. Save yourself, keep your dignity and your humanity, ability, and move on, for real. Move on. And so that's that. I just threw that in. That's a little extra. I have a lot of stories, I'm telling you. And when you get me talking, I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I'm hitting it. But y'all know I'm telling the truth, And so nothing like the truth. Truth make you free, right? And so that is what it is. All right. What's this next one? It says, we did that. Oh, I didn't even answer the question. I'm glad I put it back up there. I kind of touched it. You should, if you can, but you shouldn't make it an expectation. You know why? I'll tell you what happens. All right. When you think that, like me and my wife, and like, this is our date night, and maybe the game's coming on, or maybe I make plans somewhere else, and then you're going to get upset if you don't go on the date. It's our date night. What about me? You don't care about me. It's always that's why me and my wife, we don't have date nights. We don't have that. I don't have a boys' night. She don't have a girls' night, and whatever. We don't have that. Our life is fluid, and we both came into this life understanding what we have to give up. Sometimes I leave church, I'm on podcast. We're going next week. We're this and that. She's working on a ton of stuff for me, and this and that. I mean, it sets up, you got to have rules where if we don't go out, it's cool. If you change your mind, cool. But if we can make it, so be it. You got to be flexible and not, I can't say necessarily I've been there, but I've seen it happen, where folks, they get disappointed. You ain't going, you're doing this, and then they start throwing up everything in the past. I've been in these type relationships. They're called toxic. How you get out? They call toxic. toxic, Toxic, toxic relationships. If you do good, they upset. If you do bad, they upset. If you don't do nothing, they still upset. I've been with people like that in my past. Not people, but women. And they're people, but I'm just expressing it plainly. I do not like toxic relationship. That's why when I met Mel, and Mel, I call her Mel, but it's Melody. When I met her, she didn't bring me that toxicity. And I'm like, I can't do a toxic relationship because for one way or another, we go in a different way. I need some positive energy. Cause I'll tell you, I was married before, and I'll tell you, I did wrong a lot. And the more I do this talk show, I feel guilty. I'm like, oh Jesus, oh Lord. And I'm like telling on myself, right? And I'm like, my ex-wife was horrible and terrible and da da da. And then I looked at it, I said, she was good. I messed that thing up for real. I messed that relationship up, and I have to admit it. And so I wasn't admitting that at first. We're divorced like over 30 years now, but I'm like, I just thought she was so horrible, but she was horrible because I was a mess. And the more I do these shows, I'm giving these advice to people, it's making me realize how terrible I was. And I said some of it, like not yesterday, but the show before yesterday, I talked about that. I realized how she was jealous. And you look at my book, I used to make her more jealous because she was jealous. Like, that's crazy. Maybe I was crazy. Anyway, but she was a good woman, seriously. And I messed it up. I wasn't ready. I married her and I was not ready. And she did all the wifely duties. She was home. I was taking care and this and that, and everything was good. And I was out trying to mess around and this and that, and like, Lord have mercy. But we don't get off me. We won't get off me. I'm backing up, get off me. All right. So but I don't set up a one night a week for a date night unless you can face being flexible. You have to be flexible. Do not get upset with the dude. When you get upset with the guy, I'm telling you how guys work, right? You have a date night, you get upset with him because he wanted to go to the boys, he wanted to go to the game, something came up, the daughter or son got a game tonight, and things happen. It's a church night, whatever, right? And your plans got canceled. But be flexible. Say, it's fine, it's okay, and just see how he makes it up. When you put pressure on a dude, guess what? He's not going to want to do any more date nights with you. All right? I'm telling you how it works. Y'all don't get answers like this from other people. I'm telling you, I lived it because I know I catch an attitude. When I was out there, I'm talking about me. I ain't got to talk about nobody else. When I was in a relationship and we had a date night or we was doing something, I get upset. And I got upset just so I could be with another woman. So I leave the girl I was staying with and then go get with somebody else. And I got upset, but that was my excuse to leave. I'm giving y'all game. And so when y'all see it, you'll be like, wow. And read me. See, y'all got to read my book. Read the book. Read the book. Read the book. Unworthy, chosen, forgiven. All right. Read the book, and it's important, and not just because I'm saying read the book. I got a picture up here with Bishop Harrison, and he got my book at one of the conferences we were at, and so let me show that to y'all right quick. And so I'm posting out, read this book, Unworthy, Chosen, Forgiven. That's Bishop Harrison. He's from another church organization. He was really, really awesome with me. And so helped me out, invited me in. I mean, I had a great time. We hope to get to one of their conferences. But anyway, I'll be showing you pictures like this from here and there, And but check out my book, and we go from there. All right, let's get started. So read that book, So I'm trying to show it to you in different ways. This is what we do at our book signings. And this was actually a church book signing. I could put another one up here where I'm at a different place. Check this one out, all right? And so read this book. Seriously, you're gonna see so much stuff in this, and this is the one I think we did down in Melbourne, Florida, and so dude got my book. Everybody's buying this book for real, and it's important. Read this book, we go from there. All right, it's some great stuff in this book, seriously. And I'm talking about it, but I'm like some of the stuff because I'm not going into depth details because I want you to read the book. So I'm touching the surface of it so you could get some of it. All right. So don't set up a date night if you cannot handle being flexible. If you get disappointed, don't get mad because you'll kill his mode of wanting to do date night. Don't do it. And so it's like me and my wife. I'm like, I gotta get away. And say we get away, and all we do is and I'm using it as an example, not real, but all we do on the trip is argue. I don't want to go with her next time. I'm going by myself. Seriously. You can't make your husband, push away from you when you're trying to do positive things because you're going to kill it. And then he's not going to want to. Guys are moody. They're this, that, and other. They like peace. And when you mess up that peace, they start drinking. They start doing this, start doing that. I live this. I live with. I've been involved with toxic women, and I'm like, no way. I don't want any of that. And so I'm giving you that from a toxicity type point of view. My wife and I, we don't have that. We just want to go and the relationship I have now, I'm like, psh, I know better that I know I have a good thing. I know it's working out. I know what to give. I know what energy I'm getting, and what. So if something now, she knows my temperament, and she knows, I'll be like, because I was trying not to take a trip. And I'm like, babe, I gotta get a trip. And she's like, I got you. Because I want to get away and relax. I want to get away from things and relax and just see the scenery different, be catered to a little bit, and enjoy life. And so she like, I got you. I'm like, that's my baby. So that's it. All right. So hopefully I answered your question. What's the next one? Let's see what we got here. All right, this is fun stuff. I like asking. I was going to talk, but I don't mind asking questions as well. Do you believe that when a man loves a woman, he can't keep his mind on nothing else? That's a song. Come on. Why are you going to do that song? All right. Why? That's a song. Check it out. When I proposed to my boo, my baby, right, and I was on the Spirit of Washington, D.C. I wrote this poem and stuff like that. The radio station was there when I proposed to her, and we didn't know the racist. And all my plans I had, I wrote a poem, all stuff. We double dated. I went with a friend of mine. He came, Curtis. He came with us and stuff. But him and his girl, and they played that song "When a Man Loves a Woman." And when we kind of like, I wasn't in church, but so we kind of danced on that, and I kneeled down and proposed to her, and she accepted. And I told her, I said, you better have accepted that, because I left you on the ship. I was joking, right? And we had a big limousine outside. It was nice. The pictures you see some of the pictures in the back of my book. But anyway, they played that song. So I always remember that song, and the thing is, when you're in love, and I said some of this last night, if you got to look at that show too, right? Your mind is jacked up, and it's not a negative thing. It's just when you can be in tune with that woman, like from a man's point of view, right? When you could be in tune with that woman, and it's true, you're always focusing and thinking and wanting to be around that woman, and any excuse would do, to get there. And so that's important, so it's true statement, and thing is, when a man don't love the woman, he got his mind on another woman. Lord Jesus, I should have said that. All right. And so love is a funny thing, and I get some laughs out of it, right? And you know, and give the man a reason, or give your husband a reason to think about you. Because being in love and being in a relationship, and then all the trials, tribulation go with it, sometimes people fall out of love, or they get distant. And you don't want to lose that. Like the song, you don't want to lose. You lost a little love and feeling. You don't want to lose that, because that's when relationships goes left. It goes left. It gets out of here, and doesn't work. You know, and so you gotta find a way. Like Jesse Jackson, he used to say, "Keep hope alive." And so you gotta keep the hope of your marriage. You gotta keep it vibing, and keep it alive. So that's important. All right, and um, that's it. All right. So I'm just going down the list, answering questions. You and your wife have been married for 30 years. Are you still on cloud nine? Nah. She fired. She is fired. You know what? I don't think there's anything I can do to make my wife not love me. Seriously. It just we've seen the highs, we've seen the lows, but we grew together. We Everything we've done, the houses we have, and the cars, the money, this the retirements, we done it together. But let me answer by this. When I retired, and I talk about this, I'm like, my wife was making more money than me. But the thing is, I asked her, and this will give you the gist of the trust, or how she see this relationship. She don't look back. And the thing is, I asked her. I said, "Would you ever leave me?" And she said, "Yeah, when you die." And so she's with me for life. She's committed for life. You don't find that. It exists, I'm sure. But um, I asked her. I said, "What are you gonna do about a job?" She said, "I'm going with you." She quit her job, and we're here in Florida. And she haven't looked back. She didn't like, "Oh my God, I shouldn't quit the job. I'm not trusting you, whatever." She went and got her hair today. It wasn't like, "How much money you gonna give me?" She went and got the money and got her hair done in the store. We don't have that in our marriage, where it's like, I'm not her dad, and we believe what's mine is hers, what's hers is mine. We don't do that. What's mine is mine, what's hers is hers. We don't do that. We're in this together. And I say 50-50, but my wife say 100-100. We both give 100%. I'm not looking to move. I know I have a Rolls Royce, and I said that the best like that, because people, I get play all the time. Seriously, people flirt with me and this and other, and you know, well, I done it all, and but to settle down, the peace, the life that I have, I wouldn't trade it, and cloud nine, 10, 11, uh, um, sometimes I still think we have this marital bliss. We're excited about life, and yes, we have the disagreements and ups and downs, but I'm not kicking her butt. I'm not smacking her around. I'm not getting drunk. I'm not going to spend the money. I'm not going to strip joints. We don't have that stuff. We have life, and so it is what it is. I know she's committed to me. I mean, and we're committed to God. So I think God's the big difference for us. So hopefully I answer your question. But love it. Wouldn't trade. What I don't leave her for? And I'll tell you, last night I got a massage, and I didn't. And if I can't rest, because I have a lot on me. I don't sleep a whole lot, and she just out of the kindness of her heart. I mean, and it's special. But y'all, women can look at. eh, Women can't mess with my wife, seriously, and but she takes care of me for real. I mean, I can't get better than what I'm doing. I don't think I haven't seen it and been there, done that. All right, so I'm not looking either. All right, do opposite attracts? I think I think that's a misnomer, and I, I don't think so. I think that's a wise fable. opposite attracts. I think in some parts, you know, if everybody's the same, you're going to be boring. So in a sense, you know, opposites or opposite interests, they do attract. I think so, but I wouldn't take it to the bank because we do my wife and I we do a lot of things in common, and so we have a we view it different, you know, because I could come up with something, she'd be like, "Wow, I didn't know you think like that," and this, that, and other, and we're from two different point of views. My throat getting a little parched. Have to get my lemon water and but anyway, um, so I think 50-50 opposite attracts, but I don't believe in if it's going into it. I'm not sure how you answer the question, but if you're opposite going into a relationship, I don't think it's true. But if you're in a relationship and you have different mindsets on what you're doing, I think so. Because you know, I've seen beautiful women with ugly dudes. I've seen ugly dudes with beautiful women. I've seen handsome guys with ugly women. So they're opposite, and but they're attracting. So what's attracting? Who knows? Who cares? You know. And so that's what I'm saying. Everyone has a different agenda, and so if your agenda is love, is to me it's not about looks because beauty fades, and so when you're in love, you know. It's not about being the opposite. I'm just in love. And a lot of times, I think we're ignorant on the fact, and I'm saying ignorant, like you have a lack of understanding. When you look at someone and you say, "Because you're beautiful, we're gonna have a great relationship," that's a misnomer. That's stupid. You know, and I'm being blunt. I'm not trying to be mean stuff. I'm just cutting to the chase. You know, it's stupid to think, you know, you know, you're opposite. We attract. Oh, I hate you, and this, that, and another. If the dude can't pay no bills, ain't no traction. I mean, I'm saying you got to bring something to the table. A woman like to feel secure, and so when you go in a relationship, don't go into a relationship with your eyes wide open, and then he can't do nothing for you, and you're disappointed because you wanted the successful life. You want like people love our life. Like we get to take a trip at a spirit of moment. We don't even have to think about it. We ain't got to save money for it. We can just go. So I'm saying everybody don't have that life, you know, and you got to know what you're getting into in a relationship. Don't do the superficial stuff. Do opposite attract. That's superficial. Can the dude take care of you? Can the guy have your back? Can if you sick, is he going to comfort you? You know, you got to know what you got and don't put the emphasis on because we think, and I think more so, everybody likes black, white, whatever. Everybody likes a handsome person or a beautiful woman, or handsome man, beautiful man, handsome man, beautiful woman, and so everybody likes that. But that cannot be the gist of your relationship. That's superficial. Beauty fades. So I think I'm an average guy. People think I'm you know, at least back in the day, I was the bomb, you know, and you know, didn't make no never mind. I made a mess of my life because oh, you're cute, you're cute, you're cute. Don't pay bills. I wasn't interested in half the people that was interested in me, you know, and you know, but I did my thing. I have fun, you know. Don't get it wrong, you know, but it got old. It got old, and it's kind of hard to do that kind of stuff. You know, and I still say women have lost the intrinsic value that God has placed in them to go forward. You guys got so much power. And y'all, I'm going to drill that in until you realize that you're going to stop taking less and start setting a standard for yourself. You know, and I think that's important. All right. And so I just threw that in there. That's not one in here. Just I have to talk too. Right. Do you believe opposite attract? And we said that one. I'm sorry. I had that one up here. So let's get rid of that. And so we look at this, the next one. All right. Now this, do you believe couples should have share housework? Well, depends on everything depends. That's why when you ask questions like this, you don't really know your relationship. Because the thing is, I just we filling up the trash can. I gotta take the trash out. Sometimes I take the trash out 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm doing different things. But I gotta take the trash out. That's no problem. Sometimes I might straighten up the bathroom and but we went to this relationship knowing who has what job, and who's going to do what, who's going to be responsible for what. But we both responsible for everything if one of us are sick or ill, don't feel well, or absent. And so we both do it all. And so that works for us. But we know my job is to make sure we got a roof overhead. Her job is to keep the house going. So that's work. But yeah, I do stuff around the table. I mean, around the house. If she needs something done, I'm going to do it. Just hanging pictures. She's like, Mike, we're going to hang these pictures. I'm like, I hate hanging pictures, but for her, I hang pictures. All right. And then she wants to put up lights. I put up lights and ceiling fans and this and another. And the thing is, when I do that kind of stuff, it's hard on me because I have my knees are jacked up, and so I can't do that stuff that's another subject. But yeah, it's complicated. But I get it done, get it over with, and done. Next. And so we save a lot of money that. But yeah. But we're able to go forward, and so should they share the housework? I think that's marriage counseling. I think that's marriage sessions that you have with whoever's going to do your wedding, because that's one of our chapters that we talk about, who's going to do the housework. And that's another thing. When people get married or they live together and they do this and another, they don't know each other. And so my wife washed the clothes, and every now and then she don't get time to put everything up. I have to go in there and search through and find things that, so I could wear them. And so I do that. So I got it. We're gone a lot. And just to get the clothes washed up, that's awesome, because we're gone. We're gone like a tremendous amount of time. And so you share the housework. I think you should discuss and see who's going to be responsible for everything. Like I'll tell you stories, right? And so we speak of sharing the housework, and this true story. I mean, and this part not in my book, and so because this topic is not my book, but because I was living with a woman and lived with women before, right? I ain't do nothing. Wow. People are like, I can't believe he said that. I knew you had. So I didn't do nothing. And the thing is, folks were so in love with me, I didn't have to do nothing. I ain't have to make beds. I ain't have to wash clothes. Sometimes I went with whomever into the grocery store and stuff. Um, I didn't do nothing, and my time being there was all I needed to do. For real, I ain't have to pay the bills because it's stupid. I say it's stupid now, but women should not take care of. That's why I say this stuff. Women should not take care of men. Women should not take care of men. And so when I was in a situation and women were actually just literally taking care of me, buying my cars, this, that, and other, and you don't put that kind of time into a dude. You know, when I was doing it, I didn't feel bad and stuff. Now that I'm older and married and I'm looking back, I'm like, I was wrong. I took advantage of the situation. That's why I do this. That's why I do this type of stuff. Uh, um, I'm sharing my thoughts and stuff because I'm like, I wasn't right. And to do that. But while I'm saying women don't know their value, you can make a woman can make a man sorry, or she can make him productive and responsible and mature. When you do a lot of stuff for men, you're actually making that man sorry. All right? Don't pay for him to do this, that, and other. And just don't do it. And so women were paying for me to do this and that. I had one girl, and not reminiscent, but true statement. And she said, if I was in her country, said the women would just love me, because I'm a Black American man. And so, it is what it is. And I'm like, wow, don't tell me that, because you'll make me more of a dog and more big-headed and stuff. And so, not where you want to be. Don't take care of no guys. But I ain't do nothing, and that's why I'm sharing my thoughts with you. And so, um, it is what it is. I can't remember doing anything. I can't remember making up the bed. I can't remember cooking food. I mean, I was catered to, seriously. And there's another reason go behind that, but we not going to go there. But uh, um, so I hope I answered the housework. Sit down and discuss who's going to do what. If husband and wife and living together, I don't believe when if you're husband and wife, I think you should have responsibilities. I have responsibility around my house here, you know, and but when you're living together, I, I don't I don't know how to answer that truthfully, but if I'm living with somebody, I'm not doing nothing. I'm serious. I do whatever needs to be done, but I'm not going to have a chore or responsibility because that's not my wife. And so that sounds kind of cold blooded, but I lived a life, and so didn't have to do nothing. And it is what it is. All right, so I'm probably not the best person for that answer. All right, here we go. Another question: how can you lose the loving feeling when you are supposed to be in love? Well, things get old. If you miss watering a plant, right? You got this plant, you miss watering, and you missed a week, and then you missed 2 weeks, it get old because you forgot about it. What happens to the plant? It dies, right? And so you have to keep the marriage. And I explained this with me and my wife. You have to keep it energized, but you both have to be on the same page. And you do. You could love a person and still not feel that same way about them. Uh, um, you know, uh, you know, that's a tough question, but I've been there, and so that's why it's tough for me. It's like I love you, but I'm not in love with you. That happens, and you got to keep the flames burning. And the thing is, I argue so much with my first wife. I'm telling you, that's what made me so good at it. Because that girl could go. That girl can go. That girl can go. And she could run with the best of them. I'm like, but I learned how to argue from her, for real. And I got good at it, and I don't like to lose, so I got real good at it. But that girl, she can go. But I didn't want to do nothing with her. If we go out, she's arguing. If she's arguing. But it's because, and I'm blaming me for the relationship. She used to tell me that. She's like, "You was the cause of it." I'm like, no, no, no. Now I'm doing these talks, and I have a different mindset. I'm like, oh my God, I was wrong. I was bad. I was terrible. Today my ex-wife, we're friends. We're cool. But she was right on a lot of things because we wouldn't have had the relationship we had if it wasn't for me doing the stuff I was doing. But we're cool. But my honesty that I have now, it shows that I can have a relationship with her now, and almost hurt her to death, and I realized, stupid. But I thank God that that I was able to come to my senses and move on, and my life actually I start living again once I moved on, because I should have never married her because I wasn't ready. If I was ready, I don't think we would have had a relationship like we did. So it is what it is. And so you do lose feelings for people, and people take interest in other people when that happens. And so I hope I answered your question. You know, can you lose that love? Yeah, yeah. It's just like church. People gun ho for church, and because marriage is, is really sampled after God, and church, and so, uh, um, and you're supposed to give your life for it. A lot of these guys are sorry; they're not giving their life for nobody. I can't stand a sorry dude. Like if somebody at the door, if we know somebody coming, yeah, my wife can get the door, but if we don't know, my wife not going to that door, for real. She's not going to that door. I take care of that, you know. And so or we don't answer the door. We ain't got time. Ain't got to answer the door because somebody at it. we got cameras and stuff. We could talk to the cameras and go that way, you know. So you got to be safer nowadays, you know. But don't just go to the door. Some dudes will send their wife to the door. It's stupid. You don't do that. You don't send a woman to the door. You know, that's not manly. That's a sorry dude. You know, when he sends it, because I'm not just saying, I know stories like this. I know stories of people that come to me and marriage counseling I've done. They're like, they send me to the door. I'm like, you don't supposed to send your girl you're gonna marry to the door. These people live together, and we don't encourage people living together because you know sometimes that's what the hand I'm dealt when people come to church. They're in common law marriage, you know. And so I can't, you know, we try to get them married and out of that situation and go from there and so forth, so on. You know, but yeah, I know all these stories. So I'm just putting it out here. All right, and plan night around your schedule. Yeah, that's like the other question. It don't always work, and then the money may not always be there, and then time, and then if they don't have interest, because really, my wife, she don't have to tell me we got a date night, whatever. I say, babe, we going to dinner. You know, I'm spontaneous, and so I'm like, just like the other day we just had what's this Easter or something we just had. I'm like, babe, we going here. And she had no idea. So I say, put your thing into so she get points and dining. What's that called? Mel, what's that called? All right, she's gone. And open table, open table. We have that, and you get points and stuff like that. So I was like, schedule open table for the. It was spare of the moment, and because I'm spontaneous, and so you cannot like certain people like my lifestyle. Don't make no plans for me. You can't do that. My wife handles my schedule. You can't. That doesn't work for me. I don't like. I don't. I think date nights for people that really need it. They got kids. They got to work around it. That works for them. We can do that. I've never done that. We never had a date night. You know, I'm not the best one to talk up to about that. But what we did do is if when we had the boys at the house, we took a trip with the boys, then we took a trip by ourselves. We do that. We plan our trips, or even though if it's spontaneous, we plan our trips. So she's more the planner, and you know, so like last year or so we was in Hawaii or the year before, and um, and she planned the trip, and I'm like, wow, we 2 weeks in Hawaii. Like, wow, it was great, you know. Uh, um, but know the person you're with, and so if it works, and see and be real, but don't pressure. Do not pressure guys. Don't pressure your husband. Say, you know, we're going on a date night, but he may not want to go on date night, you know. And I, I I treat my wife, I'm telling you, I like exotic things. And so I like state of art. So when we do cruises, they pull the waiter pulls the chair out, and then he lays the napkin on her lap for her. And then, you know, he comes or she comes and lay the napkin on my lap. And we getting all this, you know, world class treatment. And the forks are lined up, fork, salad, fork, and or fork for hors d'oeuvres. Then you have a couple different spoons and a couple different knives at the top. We like that, you know. And so then you know which one. You know, this fork, the small fork is for like hors d'oeuvres, and the next size up is for the salad, and then they have the one for the main course, and so you learn this stuff. But we have really um, our marriage is not professional, but it's well put together, and we don't mind, you know, using this. Oh my God, no way, it's not an hour. And what we got? Let's we got a little time. I'll take a little time. Amen. Somebody agree with something. Women are supposed to bear the children, and men are supposed to sweat and toil for the family. That's true. That's true. However, um, it's most guys not in the field. I'm not in the field. I'm not the field kind of worker, you know. And so that's the rule, which means, you know, we have to go out and sweat and figure out ways to bring money in and stuff like that. Yeah, I got it. You know, but in a realistic standpoint, we're in modern times. So, you know, even though it's my job, in which I don't mind to make sure that I provide for my household, my family, and stuff like that. We are, but that how the Bible says it's kind of archaic, you know, but it's not how we live life today. Even though we should know our roles, I think women wouldn't mind staying home bearing children, but if that's their choice or that's what the husband and wife works out, and that's how it works out. Because sometimes, with the way the economy is and price of eggs, $8 to $10, whatever for a dozen eggs, sometimes it takes two incomes to work it out. So that's why it depends on that relationship. You can't say this is one rule for everybody because everybody's situation is a little bit different. All right. And so you go from there. Y'all got some fantastic questions. And please invite your friends. Tell them to come and subscribe to us. We want to keep our numbers going up, more questions, more people coming in, stuff like that. Last question here says, in a relationship, should a family and friends come over unannounced or call first? Well, that's also a marriage counseling question. But as for us, you better call first. Do not show up at our house because you might get surprised because we really don't open doors, and so we have to know who's coming over, and so I don't think people should surprise you because I think that's unfair to you. Because what if you and your husband or your husband and wife made plans, or they just want to chill and just be home, and people show up? No, you ain't messing up my groove, and people would intentionally do that just to put friction. I hate to say it like that. Put friction between it because folks don't like to see folks happy in marriage and relationship. They do not. For some reason, their jealousy and their spirit goes out. Whatever. Uh, um, People don't like doing that. We don't. My wife and I, we don't let people come between us. We tell the truth. Whatever. Do not surprise us. We live far enough from everybody. You cannot just show up at our house and because we may not hear you. We have pretty decent sized house, and and we may not hear you. We have the alarms and stuff. But I'm like, if we decide to answer, because sometimes if we in a certain place, we can't even hear the doorbell. And so but if the alarm goes off, that's a different thing. The whole house is alerted. But but call first. I think that's the respectable thing to do. Unannounced, you got to know who they are. If you know they coming, okay, this your brother. He'll stop by later today, and you already know that's happened. That's the closest to unannounced. I'm going to know in advance, and that's a rule that you and your spouse should talk about, and so people don't come over unannounced. And so that's important, And keep your your mind in relationship where it's supposed to be at, and then you go from there. So don't forget to pick up a copy of my book. You know, because I'll tell you, the book is what really got me to get here to where I am today. And doing these book signs, I'm meeting all these kinds of people. And so different folks. But see, folks are buying the book. They're different ages. They're different mindsets, different social classes. Everybody, they like this book. So I started showing pictures. I had the one I was showing out there, but I'm showing this one, So get a copy of the book. I'm worthy, chosen, forgiven, and enjoy the read. So actually, when you talk to me, I'm talking on the podcast. You get a different feel of me because you're like, I read his story, so now I understand where he's come from. So I don't seem so harsh. I like telling the truth, and sometimes the truth hurt, but it is what it is. And so we're gonna continue to press forward because that's where it's at. I'm Mike Gilcreast Show, and I always say faith connect to the power words, bring forth the reality of God. And so the one I did want to show was before we leave, even though I made my quote, and so I want to try to keep putting this out here so people can get a feel for our churches. Take a picture of this, and so I've been putting this out there, and not necessarily um, um, putting it with the music and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's just our church here, Vito, Florida, and I'll probably make it a little bigger next time, but just wanted to put this out so you can see it and stuff like that and share it. And you can always go back and look at this and stop it, pause it, and write down the information. You might want to pop up and see us and go from there. So enjoyed you all. Enjoyed the questions. Keep bringing the questions. Tell people, bring it in. If you got relationship questions, bring it in. We not judging anybody. We're not here to put anybody down. we're here to talk, share life, and so we can potentially get better and do it better. All right, take care. We totally appreciate you.